Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Ready, Set, Recap, where we recap what's been going on. I'm Daniel, joined as always by my best friend, Skyler.
Recap.
This week in the news, we have updates on the Warner Brothers situation, new looks at Supergirl and Lanterns, and we're going to break down the bigger news from the 2025 Game Awards. But Skyler, before we get into all that, what's been going on with you this week?
I finally watched some movies.
Fine. Like you do almost every week.
Yeah, but it's been like 2 weeks.
That's fair.
I didn't
That's
see
fair.
anything new. Oh boy, this is going to be quite a rocky road. So I saw Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
You should have taken me. You should have taken me with you. I would watch that. I saw the first one on an airplane.
Oh, damn, I didn't know. So I saw it like middle of the day Tuesday, so I'd imagine you were busy anyways.
Yeah, probably.
But I did see it with our friend Abrar.
Oh my god.
And it's his fault. He's the one.
That makes sense, actually.
Abrar, I know you're hearing this right now, and I'm telling the world that it is you who wanted to see Five Nights at Freddy's 2. And you said, let's go see this, come on! And then we did, and then I looked at you as soon as it ended, and I'm like, why'd you make us watch this? And you were like, I'm Abrar. That happened. So go ahead and leave your little comment about, no, it's not true, he's lying. I'm not lying, that's what happened. Hey man, Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is exactly the same as the first one.
Yeah, it fits.
Abrar said it was more boring. Maybe, I don't know. I think it was more stupider.
Yeah, I mean, that would follow the trend of the games, so...
It's not... I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a big Five Nights at Freddy's... I'm a grown adult, so I was sitting there like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Does that happen in the game? Does that happen in the game? And
like,
the answer
probably.
to some of the things is no, I guess.
You do say you're a grown-ass adult, and you're right. You're right, we are. But also, like, Five Nights was our generation, unfortunately.
No, I think it was like just tail end. It was like...
We were in there.
It was like... So, like, when we were in high school, the big meme game was Slender, right? Slender was like, oh, everyone's got to play this. And then we graduated high school, and then kids were like, oh, we got Five Nights at Fredman's. And then they latched onto it with the lore. Oh, see, we didn't...
We were still in there.
But we didn't participate in...
And you didn't participate, but our generation did.
So there's other 30-year-olds out there that are like, I know the lore. I know what the bite of
who is
87.
it? Matt Pat or whatever. He's older than us, and he's the guy who made up half that shit.
Yeah, but he caters to the children.
Right.
He's like... Matt Pat's in the movie, too.
Matt Pat's great. I love him. He's super cool.
He's the voice of the toy... Bonnie.
He voices... Isn't Bonnie... I thought Bonnie was a girl.
Well...
It doesn't... It's a robot. It doesn't matter. It's a robot with a ghost in it.
Because the voice is all high-pitched and so... You know who's in the movie more than any other animatronic? Is the toy Chica.
Yeah, that makes sense. Chica's the favorite.
She's got big, thick bird thighs.
Correct. Yeah. So if it's Toy Chica... I recently watched people play all of these.
Did you?
I did, yeah. Smosh did a playthrough where they at first tricked one of their castmates who's a little older than us, tricked her into thinking it was based on a true story. Then sort of as penance, they were like, okay, well now we're going to play all of them. And then they like performed really well with, likes and comments and engagement, all that shit, which, hey, like and comment on this as well, guys. And so they just ran through like the entire series and then also did it in VR. It's really funny. But
that's an entertaining crew.
They're pretty good. They're good guys. Good guys and gals.
Yeah. It's not a very good movie. The thing I keep being told is like, it's not a good movie, but it's a good Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which I don't even know how true that is.
Couldn't tell you.
But you know what? I'd say objectively it was bad, but it wasn't like offensive.
Okay.
I wasn't like horrified at like how bad it was and how much of a waste of my time it was. I was just like, yeah, this kind of sucks. And then I left.
How does this stack up to new Jumanji? I only saw the first one of those though. Because I feel like they're in the same vein.
I would probably... You could probably get me to watch a new Jumanji before I rewatch this.
Okay.
And that's because
Because you like Jack Black more than what's
no,
his name
they're okay.
from Terabithia.
First of all, I do not condone being mean to children, whether they're regular kids on the street or children who, God forbid, have to star in movies for their living.
Sure. Yes. Yeah.
But the girl in this is not very good. And you know what? I'm not even saying that as a performance thing. If you wanted to judge her performance, fine, whatever. I don't care. But I'm talking about the character in the movie is like really stupid and annoying.
That fits, unfortunately.
Yeah, so that is what it is. But you know what? I said Five Nights at Freddy's 2 is about the same as the first one in enjoyment and quality. And I'm going to say that about the next movie I watched,
Oh.
Wicked 2.
Wicked 2. Electric
Yeah,
Boogaloo.
I saw Wicked for good. And if you liked the first Wicked, which I did,
Mm.
then you'll probably like the second Wicked enough. Yeah, it was cool. It was a fun time.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we talked about this when you said you had seen the first movie.
Hmm.
But this is your first time like engaging with Wicked at all, right? You didn't like read the book
Yeah.
or see the stage play or anything like that.
No, I had never seen the stage musical. My brother did. He went to New York on a class trip when he was in high school with his theater crew, and they saw Wicked and I think Mean Girls, the musical. Those are the
Okay.
two that they chose. And so, like, obviously, everybody knows Wizard of Oz, so I knew Wizard of Oz, but
Yeah.
we're subverting expectations here. And so I was like, "Hey, man, is she gonna like melt?" And he was like, "I don't know, bro. We just have to watch."
Maybe.
So I'm like, "Okay." So
Yeah.
so I saw it with him, and it was a good time. I think if I had any sort of complaint, everybody about the first one, and I'm guessing if they're still paying attention about the second one, they all complained about the color palette. That doesn't bother me nearly as much. Like they just wanted to go for a more gold bronze tone, but which does have a lot of stuff look a little more muted. I
Yeah.
get it.
Well, I heard people saying that about the first one,
Hmm.
and when I watched it, like that movie's still really bright and colorful. Like it is way more colorful than every other movie I've seen
Sure.
recently. Unless it's like other than like an animated like kids movie, it
Like
has
Minecraft.
sure. Yeah.
I'd
It's
imagine
like
Minecraft is pretty colorful.
but if you compare this to like a Marvel movie or something,
Oh,
like
sure,
what are we
yeah.
talking about? And they're like it
No,
should be more colorful. And I don't
no.
necessarily disagree, but like it's
It's
still
a
pretty bright.
it's a stylistic choice. If you don't vibe with it, that's perfectly within your right. But it
Yeah.
didn't bother me, is what I'm going to say. What I will say, if I did have a complaint, it would be, I mean, the music's all great,
Right.
and the musical numbers are great, and there's like almost no choreography. And I think the first one suffered from that too. I mean, I think there's that one struggling to remember where they're like doing the whole musical number in like the school library, right? I think that was choreographed, if I remember correctly. But
There's I mean
90% 90% of the songs is like
yeah.
they're standing still singing, and then maybe they move out, like to a different room, and then they sing, and then close up of them singing. Like there's no dance. There is no dance.
There's no dance.
And I
It's
wanted some dance.
that kind of feels like it would make sense though in the second one because I haven't seen the second one obviously, but I've seen the play, and the second half
Mhm.
is like a lot darker and a lot more like serious. So I
Yeah.
imagine that a lot of the songs performed in this are more like, you're not getting popular in this one.
No, 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 no. I
You know
think you
what I
do
mean?
get like the overture of that one.
Oh,
It comes
okay,
like when Ariana Grande first shows up, like the music kind of plays the popular overture,
gotcha.
which is fun. But I liked it, and I believe you'll like it too. It's a good time.
Okay,
I think our two leads, as they were in the first one, are also very good here. That Ariana Grande has some good comedic timing.
she's really funny. Have you seen her
Yeah.
like doing impressions?
No.
She I swear to God, she's got a superpower. Like, not just with singing, but like she can just sound like people. she,
I
it's
will say that
actually insane.
I mentioned that I saw this movie to a friend of ours, and his response was, "What race was Ariana in this one?" And I was like, "Well, hmm,
Hmm,
an appropriate one, I think." So
appropriate. She does. Hmm.
she's gone through some
Yeah,
phases,
I
I
can see.
think,
Not
but
as she's not doing like the Gwen Stefani thing though. You know what I mean?
or Aquafina.
Aquafina. Yeah.
Aquafina kind of went through some stuff
I
too.
don't know why Gwen Stefani got away with all that. I don't think she would today.
All right. I saw, yeah, two movies.
Pretty
One was
good.
good. One was not as good at all. I finished The Chair Company, which I mentioned that I was watching last week.
Right. Okay.
I also, for no reason, remember when I was like, I'm gonna watch Stranger Things to catch up and be part of the conversation.
Right.
So instead, I watched all of Chad Powers.
That's the most fucking you thing I've ever heard in my life. Chad, I didn't even know that was a show. I assumed it was a movie. The Glenn
It's
Powell
a
thing?
it's a show. It's getting a season 2. I've learned after
Oh, is it
watching it.
good?
Um,
So no.
no, it's fine. I like Glenn Powell and I like football.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Mrs. Doubtfire, which is what this is
It's,
more or
oh, we're doing
less.
that. Okay.
So yeah, so you know the premise of Chad Powers?
Yeah, guy is a football player and he sucks, but is also an asshole, so he puts on a big stupid nose and pretends to be a different
Yeah.
guy so he can play again.
Not only is he like he's just a massive he literally drives a Cybertruck throughout the show.
That's
Like that is his car.
that's good casting.
Um and
That's good car casting.
and so okay, so here's the I do like a lot of this show, but then a couple bits of it make me be like, all right, I get it. But like to illustrate how much of a douchebag he is, in the very first episode, like he's at a bar and the Hawk Tua girl is there.
Right. I did hear about that actually.
And then so he's such a douchebag that even the Hawk Tua girl doesn't want to hang out with him. So that,
Yeah.
that is what it is.
They must
But
have filmed that a while ago because she's like gone. Like she has disappeared from the internet.
yeah, I think she went to bed and then never came back.
Which is honestly probably smart of her to just be like, okay, and that's my 15 minutes. Bye.
I mean, that's what you do after a massive rug pull.
You gotta.
Allegedly.
I don't even know how legend it is. I don't know, man.
But no, I enjoyed it. I'll probably watch season 2 when it comes out. It's produced by Omaha Productions, which is the
Nebraska.
Manning Brothers production company.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so like
Okay.
Eli Manning has a cameo in it as the coach of the college team that he played for. It's funny. No, I like it. You know, it's football season, so that's why I watched it.
For sure. Yeah, that makes sense. That's why I watch Friday Night Lights every year.
I'll watch Friday Night Lights.
I've never watched it, but I've heard it's really good.
Going to now.
Any day now. Is that your week?
I think, yeah, that was it.
So my week, maybe not as exciting. I did play a little bit of the new Fortnite season. I technically started it last week, but I didn't feel like talking about it at that point because I played like a couple matches. It's interesting. It's got, did I talk about it actually? I don't think I did.
I don't believe you did.
Okay. If you had heard about it, it probably would have been from me. So if you don't know about it, then I didn't talk about it.
I think the last time Fortnite was mentioned on this program was the Simpsons things.
So Simpsons was the last season, and that ended with they did like a whole like live event. They haven't done one like a big one in a couple seasons. So this one was like kind of a big deal. They did basically like a Avengers Endgame moment, but instead of it being all the Avengers, it was the Avengers that are in Fortnite, and then also the Scooby Gang and Beavis and Butthead and the Power Rangers and King Kong and Godzilla. It was really dumb, but like kind of in a fun way. Because at a certain point, you're just like, this is just the dumbest shit in the world, and I love it. Like half of the live event was set to not Golden from K-pop Demon Hunter, but what's the one that's like, is it Till We're Done? Is that the name of the song, or is that just the chorus? The one that's like dun 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 dun. That one.
Oh,
I don't know what the name of that song is.
That's the first. That's
Yeah,
the first
it's when
song
they're
of the
fighting on
movie.
the airplane at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
That one.
yeah. It's a good song. Yeah.
Yeah, like half of it's set to that. And you're like doing wombo, like you're just a guy shooting. In my case, I was Scooby Doo because that was the skin that I was wearing.
Nice.
But you're just like basically watching this huge monster get like its ass beat by the Megazord from Power Rangers and Godzilla and King Kong and Homer Simpson, but he's the size of a kaiju because of plot reasons.
Ooh.
So, and then there's like Spartans from Halo. It's the stupidest shit. It's like what Ready Player One like wanted to be.
It's Ready Player One.
Yeah. Oh God! And at one point, the bride shows up from Kill Bill and takes you on a ride where you're like on the back of her motorcycle and you're like shooting little guys while you're just like getting driven around by her. Because I don't know if you heard about this. Tarantino released
I did hear about this.
Like a missing chapter or some shit of the Kill Bill franchise
Yeah.
inside Fortnite?
Yeah. I
The
don't.
fuck?
Yeah, he released. I don't remember if it was a prequel or so. Yeah, there's like a chapter of like the bride story that he is decided to produce and release like exclusively through Fortnite, and then he
Right.
chose that opportunity to platform himself to just like talk about actors he didn't like,
Right.
which
What are we doing?
which are all like universally beloved people. Paul Dano, Matthew Lillard, and I'm like,
Does
what are you, bro? Shut the fuck up.
hates
The like, okay, prolific filmmaker. I love his movies. He's an insane
he's got to
person.
stop
Don't
talking.
take anything he ever says seriously.
He hates Paul Dano, hates Shaggy, hates franchise movies, made something in Fortnite.
Made something in Fortnite. Yeah, well,
What?
some really strong credibility.
It's insane. It's
Is.
truly insane. But yeah, so that all happens and the new season starts. And the new season, at least so far, is entirely original content. So it's all like characters that are unique to Fortnite, their Fortnite creations. And all of the like polling questions that they've been giving you, because like every so often when you finish a game, they'll be like, what do you feel about this? And they'll like poll the audience about what to do in the future. A lot of those questions lately have been like, should we do less IP crossovers? I'm like, you just did the biggest one in the world. Are you just like kind of tapped right now?
Definitely don't do less IP crossovers.
Yeah, that's like kind of what the game is
you,
at this point.
That's what
Yeah.
you do now.
So, and like,
Did they say that like because they're like we're running out?
we're running out. Yeah, maybe.
We
Honestly,
don't know what else to do.
everyone keeps making sequels instead of new shit. So like, we don't really have any new stuff. Anyway, but the new one's like really good. It's like all Hollywood themed. So all of the different areas are like, one's like a movie studio and one's like a huge set for like a sci-fi movie, and all the characters that you unlock are like a starlet and a director and like all these cool guys. And it's actually like really cool. And
I see what they're doing.
Yes, they're making their own.
They're running out of IP, so they're just like, what if we just get real ass people to sign there like this? Scarlett Johansson
They've already done
as
that.
herself is in the game. Well, yeah, they've done like, you know, LeBron James or but like I'm talking about like you get Quentin Tarantino in the game. Like everybody. Just
I mean, what they've done a Mariah Carey skin. They've done, I mean, a bunch of musicians. They're about to do one of the Kardashians. I don't know which one. Yeah, like they're already doing it. We're in there, baby. You best start believing in IP ownership or whatever.
people are IP now.
We are IP. Independent people, I guess. And then there was like this really cool thing at the beginning of the season where when the battle bus like came in for the first time, it got shot down. And so for the first like up until maybe a couple days ago, instead of coming in on the battle bus like you have for 500 seasons, you surfed into the island.
Whoa.
It was like really cool actually. But the thing that they added this week that I've been enjoying is they added a like a side island, which is just a different, you don't do the battle royale on it, it's just a different game basically. That is the Percy Jackson Island, I guess, to sponsor the new season of the show. And you just go in with your Fortnite character and you complete quests, and it's just like a little tiny game. It's the closest thing probably that I'll ever get to a Percy Jackson game. And it's not amazing. It's very shallow. And it is very much just Fortnite, but with Percy Jackson stuff on top. But I do enjoy it. It's nice to see, to like be able to walk around Camp Half-Blood and like go to the big house and look at the Poseidon cabin and all that stuff. Like that's really cool, and they do a really good job of like rendering it out, at least based on how it is in the TV show. I imagine it different in the books, but that's neither here nor there anymore. In fact, the only thing that annoys me about it is that when you're walking around the camp, there's like a Percy and an Annabeth and a Grover, and you can't buy those skins. They're not in the store. I want to buy the Percy skin. I can't get it.
Maybe they're coming after this wraps, you know?
I guarantee they'll be in there at some point, but like
once they go away and they don't need those NPCs anymore.
Sure, but like why would you not just be like, it's as hot as it's going to be right now with a new season coming out. Why would you not launch it right now?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, is it any... Look, I understand maybe you don't want a bunch of people running around as Percy Jackson, with Percy Jackson there on the island, but like, you're walking around with Scooby-Doo and the Megazord right now, so it's not like it's any less stupid.
They'll ruin my suspension of disbelief.
Like, or at least release like they did with like the football players, release like a generic like Camp Half-Blood camper where it's literally just a guy in the shirt and you can pick like your different version, your skin color or whatever. They've done that for a bunch of different things. Just do that and just let me be my own camper. I don't know why this isn't. I guarantee that someone has already thought of this, and I don't know why it's in the store. Why it's not in the store, I should say.
Right, right.
Absolutely insane. I also watched the second episode of Stranger Things season 5.
Oh boy, did it happen? Did the guy die?
The thing did happen. Yes.
Okay.
The spoiler that I saw did happen, and as it turns out, was wrong. Was just wrong. It was a lie.
Oh, they tricked you.
That character is still, at least at the end of episode 2, still alive. And seems like they will continue to be so.
Oh, you've been tricked.
So they are a very side character that doesn't matter like at all. And so I don't think that they're going to matter for the rest of the show because frankly, they haven't mattered for the first 4 seasons. So I don't know why they would matter now. But yeah, so that's kind of cool. It's pretty cool. There's some interesting things going on. They're doing a lot of really good like breadcrumbing of being like, here's a mystery that we're going to set up in this episode. And then in the second episode, they already pay that one off, but then they set up like 2 more. And I have to assume that that's going to continue going because everyone who I've talked to who's watched up to episode 4 that's out right now is like, hey, baby, it only goes up from here, baby. So I'm like really excited.
Okay.
And I probably would have watched more of them, but because Netflix, don't tell Netflix, guys, don't tell Netflix. Netflix like doesn't let you share accounts with people. So I have to like, when I log in on my TV, it knows that I'm not at my sister's house. She's the one who pays for it, Chelsea. And so I have to like text her and be like, hey, can I get the code for the thing? But every time I want to watch it, it's like 11 o'clock and I know she's asleep. So I'm like, well, shit. It's pretty rough. But it's a really good show. And now I have the code, so I should be good for like a couple days and I should be able to finish watching it.
Okay.
So next week I will be done with it.
I'll get cracking on watching that eventually, unless I find a different show or miniseries to.
We switched to Chad Powers, so literally anything's on the table.
Anything. Who knows? Listen, it's a surprise to me too.
We never know where we're gonna end up, baby.
There's no way
Honestly,
of knowing.
It might be better if you just don't watch it, and then eventually we do a rewatch, and it's like your first time watching most of it. I just throwing that out there for content. I don't know. It's up to you. Watch it if you want. I'm not telling you not to. I mean, at some point we're probably going to do a rewatch of it, regardless of whether or not you've seen it. So
we are dedicated to rewatch literally everything that's ever been made. It's gonna happen.
At some point it will occur. And then I do want to touch on something that was very sad that happened yesterday. I won't dive into it too deep because it's still very fresh. But while I was watching the Game Awards, my sister Emily gave me a call and told me that my other sister Chelsea had to go in to put down her dog Ollie, who, of course, you've met. Great dog. Absolutely amazing. I don't have all the details of like what was wrong with him. It seems like it was maybe some kind of cancer, something wrong with the liver. I don't really know. But the problem was he's a pit bull, and they are so tough and they are so strong. And so he didn't show like really any signs of it until he just like started throwing up blood one day. And then even after that, he like was starting to get a lot better. And then it just happened. So, it was a really sad moment. We all went over there to be there with him, and we're all gonna miss him. He was part of the family. So
good dog, friendliest dog.
Oh my god, he was so great.
It was such a last time when we had your birthday party.
Yeah.
And we were playing I believe our first round of werewolf, right? And it was like at the point where everyone had to close their eyes. That was the point where he decided to like climb up on the couch behind me and just like fully sit on basically my head. And I'm like, my eyes are closed. Is anybody seeing what's happening right now?
You were becoming the werewolf. You were becoming part dog.
Yeah, he was in my transformation. No, it's always tough to lose a dog like that. That's super rough to hear. My massive condolences. He was a good boy.
He was great. So to make the very awkward transition to something else that's not great, we have updates about the the Warner Brothers situation, although it does now again involve Paramount.
Oh
So
yeah, they're sticking their fingers in it.
Paramount being the sorest of losers, after the announcement of Netflix having won the bid to purchase Warner Brothers, they are trying to make an aggressive, what's it called, hostile takeover of
Yep.
Warner Brothers, which is, and I should throw this out, illegal already on principle. It's already illegal because once this thing has been announced, what that means is that the company has agreed to be purchased, meaning that their shareholders are already contractually obligated to one deal, so they're not able to make other ones. And the shareholders, for what's it called, a hostile takeover, you're just going to the shareholders and being like, we'll pay you more, but they've already agreed to a different deal. So like, it's not technically speaking legal. Not that that stopped anyone ever before, but they're coming at it with more money now because they have teamed up with the axis of dickheads. Because obviously, so Paramount, the company Paramount, I stand by, perfectly fine company. I think they're great. In the past, they have done a lot of really good things for like inclusivity, right up until the second that Skydance got involved. And Skydance is owned by the Ellis family, who are terrible people. They're like, they constantly lobby against like basically any kind of person that is not a straight white Christian nationalist, and they have the money to do so. They've bought a lot of other things, including first Skydance and now Paramount, and now trying to be Warner Brothers. I don't want them anywhere near any of the things that I love, which Warner Brothers, unfortunately, owns a lot of them.
Got a good chunk of it, yeah.
So I would love them to not be involved. They are teaming up with the Kushner family, which is another investment firm. Well, the investment firm's called something else, but it's led by the Kushner family. They are, of course, the son-in-law of Donald Trump. Jared Kushner is the head of that. He was the second choice Trump had for marrying his daughter, the first being Tom Brady, who said no because he's not a complete idiot. And also they're getting like, I think they said it was like $20-30 billion from, of course, Saudi Arabia. So they rear their ugly head again. It's quite literally like the dark powers uniting to try and steal Batman from me.
Yeah.
It's terrifying. Like, I already wasn't rooting for Netflix to get it, but if the result of them not getting it is then that now they're open to be purchased by that conglomerate, I'm like, shit. Like, I didn't think you'd catch me rooting for Netflix, but here we are.
It's a real lose-lose situation. And we thought we were already losing when HBO was just its own thing.
That's fair. Oh, they were on the upswing, though. They were doing pretty good. The best case scenario still remains that neither of the deals go through, which is actually becoming more probable. Not hugely probable. I'd give it like 10%. But when these two huge powers are going to be fighting against each other, because keep in mind, Netflix by themselves is already massive. They at one point were in talks to purchase Disney. That's not a joke. That's real life.
That's crazy.
They prior to succeeding in winning the deal to buy Warner, what the fuck you want to say, they were looking at buying EA and they were looking at buying Disney. That shit's insane. That's like the most crazy thing you could say, is that somebody was trying to buy Disney, but they do have that money. That's how big Netflix is, which is like probably an issue, but we'll address that at a different time. Because I would
foreshadowing for a future boss fight.
Oh my god, yeah, absolutely. Frankly, I would still rather them have Warner Brothers than this axis of evil that is forming on our horizon. It's the evil, at least, I guess. I don't fucking know.
When it comes to Netflix, I think everybody's primary concern is what does that mean for theatrical releases, which Netflix is lying to our face and telling us, like, don't worry, we'll still do them.
Right. Although I will say, if a judge mandates they do it, they do have to do it. So
that's true. And then I am the one, as everyone's screaming about theaters, I'm like, what about home release?
Media? Yeah.
Physical media.
Yeah, exactly.
No one's listening. So that's what we have to worry about there. Whereas it comes to all the icky political people trying to buy things so that we can, censor whatever we want.
Yeah.
That's more troublesome. Yeah,
That's
let's
way
steer
worse.
away. Let's
Yeah.
steer away from that. But it's
It's
we live in hell. We
we
live
do,
in
it's
hell.
rough. But the thing is, here's if I can give everyone a silver lining in this shitty situation, it's this. Like I was saying, the deal has with these two huge powers coming together to fight over it, it is becoming more likely that no one ends up with it because right now with Trump in control, he's going to be trying to push for Paramount to have it because his son-in-law wants it, and he will, I'm sure, assume that that means that he has control over it, even though really it's his son-in-law or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So he's going to be pushing for Paramount. So that's going to be a huge issue, and that's already going to drag out this deal years. Like they were saying when it was first announced that this shit wasn't going to be done until like 2027, you can just push that back all the way to 2028, and that's when the fucker loses power. So like he won't be there, and then a new group will come in and hopefully make better decisions. But we don't even necessarily have to wait until 2028 for that to happen, because I'll bring a little bit of politics into this. I'm sure no one actually wants to hear me talk about politics, but
Right.
right now the Republican Party is already losing a ton of power because Marjorie Taylor Greene has like heel turned on the Republicans, and she's still awful, but like you know, let them fight, I say.
Yep.
And she's like grabbed like a secondary faction of MAGA Republicans who are now making moves against MAGA. And also, more importantly, a lot of them are retiring. Like there's upwards of 20 Republican congressmen and senators who are in the process of retiring or threatening to retire. And if that happens,
they're all 4,000 years old.
They're all a million years old. And they also know that if they come up to re-election, because what we've seen in every election since this year, basically every special election, the Republicans don't win. They just cannot win because the people at the top of the party are so evil that even the slightly less evil people who voted them in the first place are like, well, I don't want to be a part of that anymore. Like they're literally losing in districts that were plus like 12 plus 15 Republican a year ago.
Whenever I think of American politicians, not even just Republicans strictly, I'm just going to say politicians across the board, I always equate them to those horrific monster guys from The Dark Crystal. You know what I mean?
Oh, the birds? Yeah.
The bird guys that are all just like in a little
Skellies?
council room together, and they're just awful, disgusting creatures all hacking at each other and like, "Rah!"
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's what U.S. politics is right now.
It really is. But if those people step down, then very quickly, Mike Johnson loses being Speaker of the House, which means the Republicans have lost control of the House, and it will switch over to Hakeem Jeffries for the Democrats. And he's also like not great, but at least he's just not good at his job and not a bad person. He may not be a great person, but he's not a bad person. I'll fucking take it at this point. So once they have that, then that'll cause everything to be dragged out more that the Republicans are trying to do, and that'll slow it down. And then obviously the midterms come next year, and we're expecting huge swings to the blue side on that. So already we're looking at like way more pushback on anything the Republicans are trying to do, including pushing for this Paramount deal, you would hope, right?
I would also think that when it comes to Trump keeping an eye on this, if he had invested interest in it, he might, and as far as his whole cabinet goes as well, they might have their fucking hands full, considering that they've decided to, replay the Iraq War greatest hits down in Venezuela.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So they might be a little too busy to worry about Paramount. I don't know, but I'm just
saying.
Trump
does though never focus on the thing that you would think would be important. He's always like, "Hey, I know everyone's starving, but I'm going to build a ballroom." Like he's never doing the like, "We should address the situation in Ukraine." He's like, what if I allowed Pete Hegseth to seize a fucking oil tanker in like off the coast of Venezuela and then be like, "It's the biggest one we've ever seized." And it's like, that's not a positive. We're not at war with them. They're our friends for the most part. Like, what the fuck?
They've got a lot of oil.
Like a lot of oil. That's literally what it is. It's literally Iraq. They want the oil, they want the rare earth minerals, and that's what Venezuela's got. So pretty cool. Yeah. So you never thought that dumb American politics would be coming for Batman, but here we are.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Yeah, it's the worst case scenario, because really I was thinking about it, and like so many of the things that I personally love, and like, franchise is not like obviously I love my family and my friends more, but like, IP.
No, I love Batman more than my friends.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure. Okay. Yeah, I won't take that personal. But like, obviously all of DC, but then also like Game of Thrones and Harry Potter and like the list, like all of Cartoon Network is Warner Brothers.
We don't need the Harry Potter franchise to double down on being more transphobic.
100%.
Thank you very much. We're okay
100%.
the way. Well, I won't say we're okay the way we are. But we don't need it to be any worse. Thank you.
At least the transphobia and bad politics have stayed out of the content.
It's not blatantly it's not in canon
yet. Yeah. With maybe the exception of it's not transphobia, but the goblins are like questionable.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
The house elves saying that they like the slavery is fucked up.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's us. Yeah. Like, you know what?
You know what? We're doing away with Harry Potter. They can have it.
No, they can't. They can't have it. We're gonna fix it. Make Harry Potter great again.
Oh no!
Set the house elves free.
Yeah, definitely. Well,
let the goblins have any other job, and show one who like owns a shoe store or like.
Nope, that doesn't work either.
Runs a deli.
No shit. Fuck that work. Owns a newspaper company. Shit. All right, maybe we cut that.
No. But yeah, so like so many of the things that I love and care about are owned by Warner Brothers, and I would really love for them to not also be owned by fucking Jared Kushner and Saudi Arabia.
Yeah,
I think that might actually kill me.
For Saudi Arabia is taking away wrestling, video games, and Batman.
I can't have that. Like, hey, when we become super famous and we're millionaires, can we just start buying like tiny IP of our own? How much do you think it would cost for us to buy Legend of Dragoon? Realistically.
Oh my god, a ham sandwich?
It can't be that expensive, right? No one's fucking looked at it in 100 years.
We can do that. And you know what? It's in the hands of the listeners because we are almost at 100 subscribers.
We're getting so close. We're at 91.
That'll be the first step to us buying Legend of Dragoon and making sure that Saudi Arabia can't have it.
We will. Hey, here's our promise. We'll buy Legend of Dragoon and we will add canonically gay and trans characters into it.
Oh my god. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's the first thing I'm doing.
100%.
We're going to have Avitz and Albert kiss.
That already happened in my Wattpad.
Yeah.
Anyway, would you like to talk about something good?
Please, something. Oh, so not the Game Awards next time.
No, Game Awards will be next. Although I didn't think the Game Awards were terrible, but we'll get to that.
I thought they were long.
They were very long. But again, we'll get to that. Let's talk about the Supergirl trailer. I assume you watched it because you posted it into our chat.
I did watch it.
So, hey, we got some interesting things in this. I will start off by saying we get to see Lobo. We get to see Ruth. I don't remember her full name, but that's the alien girl's name with the sword is like Ruth something. It's like it's an alien thing, but everyone just says Ruth. So that's cool. We get to see Argo City. And like the bubble, that's cool. Yeah. We see Krypton for the first time in the DCU. That's pretty interesting. That's I will say, while I think the content of this trailer does not worry me, I think this is a bad trailer.
Oh, do you?
I think the movie will be fine. Like I'm looking at the scenes and I'm like, that's probably a fine movie. This is a bad trailer for probably a good movie. My
biggest takeaway from this is I don't think it looks overly colorful.
It doesn't.
In a way that them saying like it's gonna be like Guardians of the Galaxy. I expected it to be more colorful. Now it's completely fine to go this route of it looks a little dingier, a little dirty, grubby space mercenaries. And here's the thing: I did not read Woman of Tomorrow. Okay, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know how it's supposed to look.
I think that is the thing. And I think that's maybe why I'm looking at it slightly more positively is because I'm assuming that pretty much everything we saw in this has got to be from like the first act, maybe first half of the movie tops.
Oh, and certainly. She's wearing that coat.
Yeah, that coat for sure is not lasting the movie. But the arc of the movie, or the comic, I should say, which who knows how closely they'll follow it, but we'll see.
Spiritually.
right. Is that so... I'll just say what happens in the comic because I can't possibly know if it's like for sure spoilers for the movie. If it is, I'm sorry. But when Krypton exploded, Supergirl Kara, she was on in a city called Argo with her parents. Argo didn't explode with the rest of Krypton. It was kept in a bubble and it was able to like
Mm-hmm.
float out in space, and a bunch of bad shit happened and eventually it ended up dying, but she got launched off of it just like Superman did, but like way later, which is why she got there later.
Mm-hmm.
She so her whole arc in the comic book is her sort of like coming to terms with that and like getting over this darkness, and like through the process of helping this other person, she sort of goes from this like darker, jaded, like angry person into sort of more close to what you would expect Supergirl to be.
Yeah.
And based on the trailer and that one shot that we get of her in the costume, the full suit at the near the end of the trailer, I think that's pretty
Mm-hmm.
close to what's going to happen here. Is I
Yeah, I
think
would
that
say
this little
so.
girl is going to sort of like pull her out of whatever she's going through. And clearly we're going to make some changes. Lobo is in it, and I'm relatively confident he's not in the comic. I certainly don't remember him being in there. And
Right.
it looks like we've got Crypto instead of the horse. There was a horse in the comic, who I want to say his name was like Comet or Streaky or some shit like that. It was like he was something like that. Because famously in the comics she has a horse for some fucking reason, and sometimes the horse is a man. It's don't worry about it.
I'm not gonna worry about it.
Don't worry
No,
about it.
I think we're taking strides, purposeful strides into making Crypto our Mickey Mouse. He's our Pikachu.
Yeah,
He's the poster boy for the DCU.
for better or
Now I
for
know
worse.
theoretically that should be Superman probably, and I think James Gunn would say it's Superman,
Well,
but
yeah. Well, and we know that
I
Superman is in this. He's credited in the movie, so
yes,
he will
that's
appear
true.
at some point.
Yeah, his picture is on a newspaper. He gets pee-peed on.
Yeah, I didn't love that. Not that specifically, but the tone at the beginning was like, I don't really love this. The drunk Supergirl was never really like my favorite thing. In the comic, she's not really drunk. She's like she is drinking at the beginning.
Yeah,
And I think maybe they've taken that like one step too far for me personally,
yeah.
but I don't really
I
care.
I mean, I think we're gonna see this juxtaposition between Superman, who obviously came to Earth as a baby and he was raised to have those great morals by the Kent family.
Mhm.
But Supergirl, when she lost everything, she was old enough to understand what was happening,
Right. She's a
and
survivor.
that's fucked her up a little bit, and she has to overcome that in this movie,
Right.
presumably.
And I love that.
So yeah, that's cool, and I just think that they're going to like have that be like she's a drunk party girl, and so that's funny, but then we see the pain behind the funny as we go
Mhm.
throughout the movie. Like
Yeah.
that's classic. I mean,
Well,
that's what Peacemaker is,
for
right?
sure. Yeah.
So
Well, and I don't know who's like directing this or whatever. I'm sure they're fine. I love the at least the idea of the direction we're taking. I think it's really interesting. Two of the things that are typically like levied against women comic book characters is that very often it's just here's that super guy, but now it's a girl and they're the same character but with boobs. And it looks like
mhm.
we're taking a very different path with her in terms of like her character and who she is as a person. I think that's really important. But then also the other trope that we do with them a lot is that they always have to be perfect. They can't have flaws. They have to be like this idealistic, like perfect toy, like this doll that cannot do any wrong. And I love that she's not that. I do.
Right.
I'm not 100% thrilled with like maybe the specifics of the way they're doing it, but fuck it, I'll take it. Like I
Mhm.
think that's really interesting.
The director of this is Gillespie. Excuse me, Craig Gillespie.
Do we know him
Is
from something?
Yeah, he directed. I think we've talked about him before, but he directed I Tonya, which is really good. He
Right.
directed Cruella, which I didn't like, but
So he knows a thing or two about women with dark pasts.
yeah, there you go. The Dalmatians pushed that lady off a cliff, I think.
Anyway, I think the movie.
Anyways,
Yeah,
Supergirl. It looks. I think it looks fine.
I think it
Yeah,
looks good.
cool.
There's like one or two shots that I'm not thrilled with. I don't love the her being drunk and Crypto peeing everywhere. It's like whatever. But I also think that Crypto is going to change with her. I think that he's also going to become more of like a matured character by the end of this.
Be cool. Yeah.
I think that that's pretty likely. I feel like they're going to sort of mirror those two characters. And I also wasn't a huge fan of the Guardians of the Galaxy scene where they're all the people are pointing guns at her and she's like, "This isn't gonna go good for you." I was like, okay, yeah, like this is that scene. Like it's I know exactly what this scene is already. You know what I mean?
Do you think she's still like on a planet with a red sun? Like, are those bullets gonna hurt her? You think?
They will hurt her. Okay, if it's the same as the comic, they will hurt her, but won't kill her. They won't like pierce her. It'll be like getting shot with a paintball or whatever. Because
Ouch.
she specifically goes to a planet that has a different sort of sun, so that she
Yeah.
can get drunk.
Right.
So if it's there, then yeah, like I mean, it's not gonna be great, but she'll still win. Obviously, she's still
Of course.
Supergirl.
And yeah, we Momoa as Lobo. You don't get a full glimpse of him, but you get like a little tease of him,
You get
and
like one
everyone's
frame.
gonna look like Lobo.
I don't know, he looked good, I guess. I don't know. It's hard to tell. He looks better than the other Jason Momoa we're going to talk about later.
Who wasn't even in that trailer, right? He was in the
No, but we
poster,
got the
but
poster, yeah. Hey, but also in DC news, we also got to look at Lanterns. This one didn't tell us like literally anything. It was like a 1 little second like first look situation
I
where
think it was part of a full like blended trailer of here's what's coming to HBO Max in
yes.
2026
Yeah.
type thing, because there's like other shows that have little clips like this too.
Yeah.
There's no one in a Green Lantern suit in this little teaser.
We see a ring, which is something.
We do see a ring, and we see Jon Stewart careening off a cliff to his death. So he's
Yeah.
gonna die. That's a spoiler.
The
Jon
scene
Stewart
is
dies in this movie.
the scene is that
In the
Hal
show.
Jordan, coach from Friday Night Lights, Kyle Chandler, puts the ring. Which, by the way, do you know he lives like really close to us?
That's cool. I like knowing that we have a Green Lantern nearby.
It's good to know.
In case
It's
shit
good to know.
goes down.
Although things don't usually go great for the city Hal Jordan lives in. So
No, let it happen. Take me.
yeah, we're gonna get smashed by Mongol or whatever. Anyway, he like I don't know if it's supposed to be his ring or the ring that John is supposed to be wearing or something, because he's training Jon Stewart. He like puts the ring on the dashboard and then he says
Yeah.
something. I don't remember exactly, but I feel like it was something to the effect of like, all right, you got to earn the ring or whatever, and then
Yeah.
drives it towards the edge of a quarry and bails out. So
Yeah.
presumably the end of that scene that we don't see is Jon Stewart turning green and blasting through the roof of that car. Or
I bet he
dying.
doesn't blast. I bet he doesn't blast through the roof. I bet he like makes a little protective. I don't think he's gonna fly out of there. I think he's not. He doesn't have the grasp of it yet. Would be my guess.
Yeah, as long
This
as he doesn't make
definitely-
a Hot Wheels track and like rocket car the thing back up to the top, I'll be fine.
He
As long as
has
it's nothing
to.
that
He has
stupid.
to. He has to do that. This definitely adds weight to the theory of Hal is training his replacement.
Right.
It rather than like there's a new guy and we need Hal to team up with him. It's more like Hal is like, this is the ring and you have to earn it, and it's Men in Black. This is what happens in Men in Black.
Yeah. You know what? That's a good way to look at it, actually. What if the whole season there's only one ring and they have to trade it back and forth like the Fate's Eye and Hercules or something?
That's cool. I still think that Hal can and maybe will create a second ring using his ring. That's a thing he can do. I've seen it.
I've seen
But-
it. Yeah. There's really not a whole lot else to go on off of it, but you know, it does make me slightly more excited. I think it looks good. On the other side of the pond, the Marvel side of the pond, we got one very small piece of news that I think is kind of funny. They're dropping 4 different trailers for Avengers Doomsday across the first month that Avatar Fire and Ash is in theaters, where every
Bro.
week they will change it to a different trailer.
Bro, I don't think you understand. To what end? To what end are we doing this?
I bet they're
Because-
basically the same trailer too.
because I posted this in our little news drop, and then I immediately posted underneath it that the Avatar Fire and Ash runtime is 3 hours and 17 minutes. So, and people will do it.
People will. Yeah, they will go
There
see
will
it 4
be-
times for those 4 trailers.
There will be upwards of 100 people, maybe a couple hundred people throughout the world
Mhm.
that go sit through Avatar Fire and Ash, which I'm sure will be a good, fine movie.
Sure.
I didn't like the first Avatar, but I thought the second Avatar was good. This one is gonna. I will see this one. I'm not seeing it 4 times
fuck no,
for
hell no.
a fucking especially like these things will probably like go online after the week anyways.
Yeah, you would have to assume so. Yeah. Well, and I would also assume, even if the trailer itself doesn't go up, there's going to be 400 breakdown videos on the internet. You think Eric Voss is letting that shit go more than a second without having a whole breakdown on it? Come on now.
There you go.
I also bet that the trailers are largely the same. I bet that there's not a whole lot of new information between them. Maybe the first one and the last one have like bigger swings, but I wouldn't even be surprised if all four trailers were set to the same song and it was just like the next part of the song.
I'm picturing like we get an establishing skyline shot of something, and then we have one character does a narration like, we knew he was coming and now he's here.
No,
right?
Yeah.
It'll be some multiverse character. Who would do it?
Deadpool.
Maybe no. It would be like Doctor Strange or maybe like Mr. Fantastic. I don't know. But
It should be Doctor Strange, I guess. We haven't seen
but
him
like
in a minute.
but so establishing skyline, like no music, just like ambient, like bum type music,
Yeah.
like not like a score or like a pop tune or anything.
Yeah,
like
you don't
that,
want it to be set to an 80s rock anthem.
No, but then we like get like a glimpse of each trailer shows us a glimpse of like 3 different guys, right? So like week 1, we get the establishing shot and then a quick shot of Thor, and then a quick shot of Shuri, and then a quick shot of Human Torch.
Can I tell you?
And
Okay.
then title, and that's it. And then the next week we get 3 more characters, like 3 different ones,
Right.
but the same narration. I'm calling it. I could be wrong, but I'm shooting my shot here.
I'm gonna fan cast this as like the best possible option, and it's not gonna be this, but it'd be really cool. Mm-hmm. What if the 4 different trailers are 4 different universes seeing the thing that's gonna like pull the chunk of them into Battle World or whatever? So the first trailer is like our MCU, right? Like the one that we've grown accustomed to. And then the next one is like the Fox X-Men universe. And then the next one is like the Spider-Man Tobey Maguire universe, because we know he's in it. And then the last one is, I don't even fucking know what else is coming over, but one of those ones.
No chance
it won't happen because that's too good of an idea. It's too much fun.
And it's too much work. And it reveals too much of their hand. Marvel is such a hard-on for not giving you any information for as long as they can, right?
That is true. That is unfortunately true.
That they don't want people to know that we're leading into stuff like that. But I think there's a chance that like the 4th one of these trailers, and they're definitely gonna like, if this is what they're doing, they're gonna leak it ahead of time.
Tom Holland.
The 4th one of these trailers is like gonna be our first official full look at Robert Downey as Doom.
Oh yeah, okay, I can see that.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
And we'll see how close I am. I will theoretically see one of these because I'll see Avatar.
How about
it once?
You go see it
once.
Okay. How about, because you know Abrar's going to see it day 1. Wait until week 2, and then at least we'll see 2 of them through the friend group.
I'll wait a little bit. I'll wait till maybe after the New Year, right? Because the holidays are busy.
They are, yeah. But if it's the first couple weeks, isn't it like, oh man, I don't know. I guarantee that Avatar's gonna be in there for longer than those 4 weeks. But if they're switching it every week, I don't know what that looks like on week 5. Do they go back to the week 1 trailer and then just keep cycling? That seems like a lot of work for nothing.
It's all in the hands of the people who work at the theaters and run the projection to actually bother to change it.
That's true too. That's absolutely true.
So
if it was, so I used to work at a Harkins. If it was at the Harkins I used to work at, yeah, 100%, yeah, for sure. Because a lot of that is dictated by like if we don't do it, we get in trouble. I don't know, but I've been to some like Cinemarks and some AMCs where people just don't give a shit about anything. Like you walk in and there's still drinks in every cup holder, and it's like, yeah, no, those ones, I don't know, man. I don't know if they're doing it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
We will see what happens. But
that's two stories that I've ended with. We'll see what happens. That's my biggest. I need to stop doing that.
You do gotta stop doing that, I guess. But hey, one thing that we don't have to wait and see what happens, because it already did, is the Game Awards 2025. Woo! What a good and succinct show. Not dragged out at all. We got everything in exactly the right amount of time.
Let's address the elephant in the room. I said I wasn't going to watch this.
Yeah.
So our friend Christian messaged me and said, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Nothing. I'm going to watch football." And he was like, "I want to hang out." And I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "You want to watch the Game Awards?" And I'm like, well, "I guess." So I pulled in another TV so I could still watch football while the Game Awards were on.
Which one got the big TV?
The football did.
Okay, good.
But that was Christian said like put Jeff on the small one. He doesn't deserve the big one. So I'm like, okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, let me get my just annual gripes about the Game Awards out of the way. It's not a good award show. They don't care about the awards. Most of the people winning the awards don't seem to really care about the awards. They fastball special through like half of them in the pre-show, and then another half of the remaining ones. They'll just like go up on a side stage and list like 6 prizes instead of having somebody come up and accept it on the stage. And it's like,
am I crazy?
What the fuck?
Were there only like 3 of the awards that were actually like read out on stage? Like a lot of them.
Yeah, it was not many.
Were just Jeff was like, all right, we're gonna take a moment between commercials to say like this person won, good job there. Hey, Hades won an award. All right.
Yeah, which shout out Hades. They won Best Action Game, which is awesome.
Hades. Yes,
I'm really happy for them.
Hades
the award
too.
doesn't like actually mean anything, but I'm still happy for them. Man, it is the most corporate thing in the world, and it's especially disappointing because we know that a lot of companies can't even afford to put commercials on there because it costs $1 million, which is why I think it's
$1 million for a 3-minute
for a 3-minute commercial. And I always think it's so ridiculous because people will get on to companies like if PlayStation doesn't put something there, or Xbox doesn't put something there. Like they're getting onto Xbox this year because they didn't put something there, but they've done it for all of them over the years that the show has existed, and they'll be like, why are you not putting something at the Game Awards? It's the most watched thing in the world. And it is. Like it gets viewership on par with like damn near the Super Bowl, which makes sense. It's not as ubiquitous as the Super Bowl, but the Super Bowl is only an American thing. Like the Game Awards is watched everywhere, or at least everywhere the video games are, which is most places. So like that makes sense. Like it's broadcast in a bunch of different languages. I understand where the viewership comes from. I get it. But the other part of it is like, you don't need to pay $1 million for a commercial at the fucking Game Awards when the people who watch it are all people who are already plugged into the video game space and are online. Just pay for a fucking banner ad on YouTube or get one of the pre-roll ads for whoever's streaming the thing. Like you can get those same people, that same number of people by just running ads in front of like KSI for a week. Like you don't need to do this.
It's probably true.
Like don't do it.
I'm sure there is some slight meta to it of like there's a lot of, I won't say casual gamers, but I'll say normie gamers. I didn't like saying that. It felt dirty.
Yeah, but I know what you mean.
Let's say normie people, right, that play video games, and they're more likely to pick up and pay for something that they saw at the Game Awards than something that they saw on just like a YouTube ad, probably because it was at the Game Awards. The Game Awards are so cool.
I would agree to some extent. I think if it's a big announcement, then sure, yeah, absolutely. But also, it's like, I don't know, some of the games that were in, because I'm not talking shit. There were some good games that were announced. I think there's some cool stuff to look forward to. But I think a lot of those, if you showed them just anywhere, they would still get the same hype.
To your point, you could have unveiled a new Mega Man literally anywhere. And people would have exploded.
Right. You didn't need to do this here for $1 million.
And I know that the story that was posted was $1 million for a 3-minute trailer, right?
Right, which is long. Most of them didn't go that time.
But do you think that there has to be a thing where like Jeff waives that rule so that he can unveil a new Mega Man game? Or the next Lara Croft game? Yeah,
I do wonder that. I think that there's a good possibility of that. Because he needs the clout. He needs the clout of showing off a big thing. And to be honest, most of the really big things still don't show up on this stage. Like, PlayStation does it because they don't have their own showcases. Xbox, traditionally, not really. They've shown off hardware here once or twice, but they don't really announce, like, big games here often.
Nintendo Howard got an invite.
Yeah, well, because he's one of the only, like, auteur directors in video games that people know the name of that you can bring out instead of Jeffrey Wright and his son for some reason.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong really quick, not to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
If I'm remembering, Todd Howard just read off, like, he presented an award.
Yeah, it was for game direction, I think. Yeah.
Right. So, which went to Claire Obscure, I'm sure. Right?
Probably.
Yeah. So, we're watching, and Todd comes out, and Christian's like, what are they about to announce? Oh boy, what do we got? And I'm like, he's holding a card. he might not announce anything. He might just give a winner and then leave. And that's what happened. So the Game Awards, through their own system, have set this expectation of like, oh man, what's getting announced next?
The announcements
and then
are more important.
The actual award happens, which is supposed to be the main event, but when that's it, everyone gets disappointed.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Todd Howard was here and he didn't announce fucking shit.
That's my biggest issue with the Game Awards every year.
It's a flawed system.
It's not a good presentation of like announcements, and it's not a good award show. If you want a good award show, watch DICE. That's where they're going to actually honor the people. If you want a good announcement show, watch a Nintendo Direct or an Xbox showcase. And I would have said a PlayStation one, but they haven't really done one for a couple of years. But when they start doing them again, a PlayStation one.
Or even, heaven forbid, Jeff Keighley have his own, let's say a Game Fest in the summer.
Right. Although that one's still kind of like ass, to be honest. But at least it's focused. It's better than this.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Has less Muppets.
Less Muppets, which I like the Muppets, but I'm also like, did we really need to cut to Miss Piggy 3 times when we also didn't give like 90% of the people winning awards a single second to talk about their game?
Again, we don't. They've make it very clear that we're going to we've picked one game and we're gonna love on that game all night. And this year it was Clair Obscur.
Yeah, although I will say Expedition 33 probably a great game. Although it's gonna be really funny when me and you get to it and neither of us like it for some reason. But
I kept every time it won a new award, I was like,
what if it's bad?
Don't let this affect your just play it normal. Keep your eyes closed.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while before I play it. So
because I've got that derangement syndrome where if something is popular and loved, I'm like, oh, is it now?
That's fair. That's fair.
So I'm not letting it get to me. I'm not.
Okay. Well, just take a break before you play it until you forget about it. But yeah, Clair Obscur this year did that way more than any other game has done ever. It was the most nominated and the most winning video game in Game Awards history. So and by all accounts, it deserved at least some of that. Although I think there were a couple areas where I think that's questionable. I think some of the nominations are really weird. I didn't play all of the games that came out this year, but I played a lot of them. I think it's insane how some of these nominations went. I think the fact that, like, for some reason, the one that sticks in my mind is like the most upsetting is that South of Midnight wasn't even nominated for Best Score in Music, when that's the whole point of the game, is how good that music is. I think that's actually insane. I would have been okay if it didn't win, but not getting nominated, especially when there was only 5 nominees for that category and a ton of the other ones get 6 nominees. I'm like, what do we do? What happened? Who voted for this? Why is this the way it is?
Speaking of music, I want to complain about how Clair Obscur apparently has like 300 tracks on its soundtrack, right? And every award they won, which was like 30,
it was a lot.
They played the same overture every time.
Exactly.
And I'm like, come on, a new track, something else. Let me hear it.
If you're gonna tell me that this has which it very well could, has the best soundtrack of the year, prove it to me by playing at least 2 songs, please, for the love of God. They put out an update. They put out an update the day after or the day of the Game Awards. That's like their thank you update, and it added more songs.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, there it is. Yeah, I don't know. The Game Awards really piss me off in their formatting every year. I also think, I don't think Jeff Keighley is a bad person. I think he's probably a good person. I just think that, like, A, he's not a good presenter. I don't think he's a good host. And I also think that, like, and this is a problem with all award shows, but, like, if you're going to present yourself as, like, I'm the guy, I love the video games, and I know the video games, could you please say the fucking names of the video games correctly? Please. If there's 2 people, if it's you and Sydney, and you're announcing 90% of the awards, can you maybe know that the fucking game is called Uma Musume and not Umama Sumi?
Japanese is hard, Daniel.
It's not that hard.
You've been on Duolingo for a year. You can't gloat
just
over
listen
them.
to it. She brought up the guy because it won that award for like best mobile or whatever.
Yeah.
She brought up the guy. He said it correctly next to her, and then she said it wrong again.
It's not her fault. Shout out to my horse girls, by the way. Glad y'all won an award.
My God, but like, I don't know, that kind of stuff always, because it just feels like they always pitch it every year as like, it's a celebration of this year in video games, and it never feels that way. It never feels that way. It feels more like it's just an announcement show, and that's why everyone's tuning in, is to watch the announcements. They don't give a fuck what the awards are, because the people presenting it don't give a fuck what the awards are.
They might care about game of the year unless the game they like didn't win. Then they're
Exactly.
gonna get
Yeah.
really mad.
Like last year
Which,
when Astrobot won and everyone was pissed.
speaking of, did you catch how like condescending Jeff was when Silksong finally won an award that he rattled off, and he was like, "See,
Right?
now you can all shut the fuck up.
Now you can leave
He
me
was like,
alone. The Silk Song
whoa,
actually won one.
whoa.
And that's another thing that annoys me about Jeff with this is that he also does this thing where he's like, I don't pick the winners because everyone just assumes that like because Death Stranding gets nominated for 100 things and they're like, which I think is like sort of fair. You're the face of the thing. If there's going to be blowback on it, it's going to be on you. Like I get that. But also it's like I get that you don't choose the winners, but you do choose the people who vote, which is not a lot different.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, you're basically gerrymandering these awards to be whatever you want.
We're gonna get in there
Any day now. Any day now.
That's our like life goal, is to get voting recognition for the Game Awards. We'll make it happen somehow.
But okay, now that that's out of the way,
we'll actually get to the announcements.
We'll actually talk about the announcements and some of the awards and like who won and stuff. Although we already talked about like all the important ones. Hades won Best Action Game. That was really cool. We're excited. Way to go to that team and Ed. We love you guys.
Yay.
I was personally really excited to see South of Midnight win something. It won Best Games for Impact, which I was like, okay, that makes sense. I didn't play any of those other games, so I don't know how it stacks up against them. But I do agree that it shows, a culture that we almost never get to see, and so that's kind of cool.
It was neat.
Still think it should have been nominated for music, but whatever. Here we are.
Yeah, I agree.
And then look at basic. Oh, Charlie won Content Creator of the Year. Love that. Moist Critical.
Which he didn't want to win.
He didn't.
There was a clip of like him as it was happening, and he was
funny.
like fingers crossed. He was saying like anybody but me, anybody but me.
Was he? So he wasn't even there.
No, I think he was live streaming it.
That's really funny. He was the person I wanted to win, obviously. But I would have been fine if it was like, you can't be like, oh, Kai Cenat won. I can't believe that they gave it to that nobody, because he's like the biggest fucking guy in the world.
Yeah, he's a huge name.
Or like Sakura Miko, I would have been fine with. The other two I don't know at all. So, but I was happy to see Charlie win. I'm happy for him, even if he doesn't give a shit.
Take the praise, Charlie, you fucker.
One of the three nominees from Expedition 33, Jennifer English, won. It was neither of the ones that I knew going into it. Ben Starr and Charlie Cox. Granted, Charlie Cox said he didn't want it.
He was like, please don't.
Please don't
give it to the motion capture guy.
And Ben Starr, I'm going to throw this out here. I love him. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a very mediocre voice actor. He does the same voice and everything. And it's a good voice, and I love him. And he's so hot. But, like, come on. So I was happy for Jennifer English. And he was, too.
Thought you were going to mention that how he was wearing the Always Sunny in Philadelphia Nightman eyeshadow.
He was though. I didn't even put that together, but he absolutely was. He was so excited for her, and I have to assume that community is really good. Ben Starr's a great guy. He's so nice. He's been on a bunch of podcasts. He's awesome. I loved that he was cheering Jennifer English on for the win. I think that's amazing. Wow, like. Honestly, I think it is better for even for him to not win, because I feel like putting like, and I won a game award for best performance would really just put more pressure on him. That is not fair. So I think it's the best outcome there. And then everything else went to Expedition 33. They bought a bunch of extra seats, which you could tell because every developer who was there from Expedition 33 was dressed as a fucking mime. They had the striped shirt and the red beret, and they looked like a bunch of fucking dickheads, but hey, go for it.
It was the closest thing you'll ever see to the French invading the USA.
Yeah, not since the French and Indian War or whatever. But golly, by all accounts, it's a great game. I haven't played it. Someday I will. I'm gonna take a break on it, so I'm not going into it with this huge bias of like, and it won everything forever.
Yeah, I can't. I've been saying leading up, I was like, man, I wish I could play it before, but it's a long game.
Yeah.
And now, unfortunately, again, I have that brain disease that I'm like, oh yeah, we'll see about that. I need to let that go away before I actually play it. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to be an asshole in every waking moment of my life.
But you do it so naturally.
I know. I'm good at it. And I'm going to make a career out of it by hook or by crook.
Hell yeah. Here are some of the announcements. There were a lot, because it was a 6-hour show or some shit. The live stream I watched was 6 hours, although a lot of that was the pre-show, so who knows. There's some there's some finagling in there. I think the actual show was 4 hours. I might be wrong on that, which is way too long.
Yeah.
The first one that I wrote down, and you can cut in with some other ones that you were particularly excited about if you took notes of your own. But the first one I wrote down was Star Wars: Fate of the Old Republic. This is a not first person, single player action game, sort of in the vein. Yeah. Hopefully not in the vein of Jedi Survivor, because I didn't like those games, but maybe more in like an, I don't know, Uncharted or something kind of situation. It's being made by Casey Hudson, who made the Old Republic, the really good KOTOR games.
Yeah.
I don't know that the sauce is still there. I hope to God it is. I think it looks really interesting. I have a lot of questions about it. I did spend the entire trailer thinking that the girl who got out of the ship was just Daisy Ridley, and it wasn't, because she's in the Old Republic. So
yeah, so this is how pathetic my nerd brain is, because I was watching it with Christian, and we were like, what is this? And I was like, wait, this looks like a Star Wars. This is a Star Wars? And then we were pretty sure it was a Star Wars, and then he was like, is that Rey? Is that Daisy Ridley?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know, it kind of looks like her. Yeah, well, maybe it is. But the second she sparked up a blue lightsaber, I was like, no, it's not her.
Yeah. Well, and it was also confusing to me, just to get also onto the nerd shit, and I would have to watch the trailer again. I'm not going to do that right now, obviously, but I'm pretty sure the droid that was with her is like the same model from Rogue One that shouldn't exist yet. Like, I think maybe it's supposed to be an HK model from KOTOR, but it doesn't look like that. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Nerd flags are going off, but I think it's probably gonna be good. Casey Hudson, I think, is class act. I think he's really good. If I was building a studio, I would hire that guy first, because he's really, really good.
We will hire him when we build our studio
any day now. The next big one that I wrote down was Divinity. So this is not maybe a game that people are going to be super familiar with. It's technically the like third or fourth in the Divinity franchise, because there was Divinity Original Sin, at least 1 and 2, and then like a spinoff. I don't remember if Deadfire was Pillars of Eternity or Divinity. It doesn't matter. They were old CRPGs in the same sort of way as the newer Baldur's Gate game, Baldur's Gate 3. And this is the team that made that, Larian. And so this game is going to have a lot of eyes on it and a lot of pressure on it, which is good, that they're, making very clear to not add any more pressure to, they said it's going to be the biggest game they've ever made and it's going to be awesome. Okay. Good luck, guys. Oh, right. No. Coming out you have to do it to some extent. You can't be like, and this one's gonna suck, but like coming out after a Game of the Year winning game that everyone loved and was huge, whatever, and coming out and being like, and this one's gonna be 100% bigger and better and stronger and everyone's gonna love it just as much. It's like, you're never gonna live up to that. You're never gonna live up to that.
Good luck. Yeah,
it's exactly. Gonna be rough. It's also like, this game's gonna be 100 years away. It'll probably go into early access, because that's what most Larian games do, and then people will play that for like 2 years before it actually comes out. So don't expect to play this one anytime soon, but when it does finally come out, it'll probably be pretty good.
I wasn't buying into the hype of this one, to be completely honest.
Did you not like the peasants getting thrown up into the air? Or the really gross trailer with everyone like eating shit? Eating
and barfing on a pig's head, and then there were people having sex, and then
it was a gross trailer. It was a well-made trailer, but it was gross. I didn't watch it.
I didn't have anything against it, and like the design of like all the people getting like skewered into that tree. Like I think, artistically, like, okay, cool, we're doing a thing. But it didn't grip me.
Yeah.
But I recognize the weight of it. It's like, okay, people are probably going to get really hyped about this.
People don't give a fuck about Divinity. People are excited about it because this is the team that made Baldur's Gate. That's all this is going to be, which is why this is called Divinity and not Divinity Original Sin, is because they want to set it apart from those, I'm sure.
Okay, yeah.
Then we had, I think, the one that maybe let me down the most. It's a game called For Loop. So this is J.J. Abrams and the guys from... I think it was originally called like Turtle Rock or something. The guys who made Left 4 Dead. They came out and they're like, we're making another game and it's just like Left 4 Dead, and we learned a lot, and I was so excited when they were describing this, and then they showed it and I was like, oh, no, it just looks like every shooter I've ever seen in my life.
We were laughing at it the whole time.
I was excited at first. I love Left 4 Dead, and I think J.J. Abrams is pretty okay.
No, I mean, this was the one, it had like skill trees, right?
It was like you were dying and getting reprinted, and yeah.
Look, yeah, no, I'm not feeling it.
It for me, it's that art style. We'll talk about this, I'm sure, a lot of times over the next the next announcements and also the following years. There's something about like modern sci-fi games where they just all look like the same game to me.
I started a chant. I'm not even kidding you. This is real. This is not clickbait. This is 100% real. Every time they started showing a game, I would chant every game looks the same, and it did.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird, man. Like so many of these sci-fi games, and there's a couple of them that are just trying so hard to be Mass Effect and failing at that, and they all just look the same. And then an alien comes out, and you're like, "There's that alien that I've seen before." And it's like, I don't know what's happening, man. It drove me up the fucking wall. But one that I was really excited about, although I am a little bit worried for reasons.
Oh,
Resident Evil Requiem. Yay.
worried? Why are you worried?
Well, for plot reasons. So the big announcement of this is that Leon is in it. So you're going to play as both Grace and Leon. Leon's going to be more action focused. Grace will be more, sneaking around, survival sort of situation. And I think that's great. I think that's awesome. I think the game is going to be amazing. What has me really worried is there's also been this rumor going around that it's called Requiem because it's going to be a requiem for the old games, and that like the old protagonists are going to die. And so when you roll out my homie Leon, I'm like, bro, don't do this to me.
I see.
No, you can't do this to me.
Not Leon. Take Chris, please.
And he looks like a little he looks like a little bit rough, like he's a little bit older, and he's got like the beard's not quite right. And I'm like, they're gonna kill my boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I regret to inform you that our main man, Leon S. Kennedy, has become an Unk.
He's no longer a twink. He's transformed to twonk, and I don't know if I'm okay with it.
He's an Unk now. But
game
from
looks
the action
great.
Standpoint of it, it looks like Unk still got it. So
oh my god, he's got it. He's the king. He's the guy. He's the goat. That's why he's the goat.
He is my goat. He'll always be my goat.
They introduced this other new villain. His name's like, I think it was Dr. Gideon is what I wrote down in my notes. He looks like the Mole Man, but a zombie. Real gross. I think the game looks really good. I'm really excited for it, except that I'm also really scared.
just nervous of. I understand. I understand where you're coming from. I'd be scared. Oh, shout out to Susie Hunter also. She was in
Susie Hunter and Maximilian Dude
promo.
From that video I sent you of him freaking out when Marvel vs. Capcom 2 got reannounced.
That's right.
That video's out, isn't it? No, it'll be out soon though.
They got people there, and that was fun.
Yeah, I didn't know who the third guy was, and I felt bad about that.
Because
I'm sure he's somebody.
I didn't feel bad until now, where we specifically shouted out the other two.
Yeah, sorry, man. I don't know who you are. I apologize. I'm sure you're great.
Now I feel bad. Hey, subscribe and tell us who you are.
Yeah. Hey, man, if that third guy is watching this, leave a comment. Be like, I'm Scott, or whatever.
Scott, let me be your friend.
Scott, come on the show. You're invited. We'll talk about whatever games it is that you like, presumably from Capcom, because that's what the other two are known for.
Daniel, are we Unk?
No, because we knew 2 out of 3. There's no way.
That's
and we knew
6,
what 4 of the 6 content creator of the year nominees. No, we know, we're good.
Okay, all right.
You might be in trouble because you don't know the things sometimes. Where I'm like,
I didn't know.
Shit.
I didn't know who the burnt peanut was.
I only knew him because of memes. Anyway, so the next two, speaking of games that all look the same, we have 2 games coming out of Wizards of the Coast that just look like very generic sci-fi and then very generic fantasy. They were back to back, and I was not thrilled with either of them. The sci-fi one is called Exodus, and it is we are trying to do Mass Effect really, really, really bad.
Oh boy, are they!
And it also stars, by the way, Matthew McConaughey. Don't know if you picked up on that.
I didn't pick up on that.
His voice was in it, but only like right at the end. When they announced it at last year's Game Awards, he came, or was it it might have been at the Summer Game Fest. I don't know. At some fucking Jeff Keighley thing, he came out and introduced it. So that's the only reason I know.
Oh, I see. So because of Interstellar.
Honestly, yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
I bet he's the most expensive singular aspect of that game also. I don't think it looks terrible. It just looks like so boring. You know what I mean? It like I looked at it and I have already forgotten it.
Well, Christian spent the whole, well, not the whole trailer, but like the starting part of the trailer, because it said Wizards of the Coast, and he was like, "Is this a Spelljammer game?" And I was like, "This looks too boring to be a Spelljammer game."
Yeah. And then a different actress whose name I didn't write down because she didn't say it and I didn't know who she was, came out to introduce the fantasy version of that called Warlock Dungeon. Did you know who that was?
No, I don't remember. I don't remember.
It was some actress. I'm sure she's. She can't possibly be as big of a deal as Matthew McConaughey because he's like A-list. But I'm sure she's somebody, and she was introduced as though she were somebody. So I have to assume that that's the case. Yeah, this is it's just the very generic fantasy thing. The trailer didn't show us anything. It was all CGI. I'm not thrilled with these Wizards of the Coast games, unfortunately.
Nope. Not feeling it.
One that probably, possibly my game of the show is Control Resonant. This is a sequel to Control, which was a game that I love. I love everything they're doing over there with Alan Wake 2, everything since, honestly, I can't think of a time that they've made a bad game. But damn, they're really good. It looks like maybe you're playing as the brother of the main character from the first one. I'm a little concerned. It looks like it's a bit more open world and a little bit more combat focused, which is not what these games have ever been. And so that does worry me slightly, but I trust this studio enough that I'm like, it's probably fine. Like I'm sure that by the time I play it, I will not be concerned about these things anymore. But goddamn, I know you haven't played Control, but if you, the audience, have not played any of the games, Alan Wake, Control, any of the games in this universe, do yourself a favor and play some of them. They are so good. It is this like mind bending, like what would you even call it? Like psychological thriller type shit with all these like kind of haunted objects. If you know, what's it called? SPC? Contain. I don't remember those ones. You know what I'm talking about? SCP?
The P is last because it's
SCP?
protect. So secure, contain, protect.
Yeah. If you know that, it's basically what Control is. And it's great. I love it. Love it so much. Very excited for this. I just hope it's not an action game. That's my one thing is I'm like, I saw him change his little thing into a couple different weapons and I'm like, I hope that's not an action game. I really hope it's still what the other ones have been, but we'll see. We'll see. And speaking of things that look like other games that we know very well, actually, well, we'll see. Gang of Dragon. This is a game coming from Nagoshi Studio, a guy who I have to assume left the Yakuza studio because it looks exactly like Yakuza and is even on the same street from Yakuza.
Yeah.
But it stars Don Lee from Eternals and all this other shit.
Train to Busan. He's good. I like him.
He's really great. I'm sure the game will be great. My thing is like, that's just Yakuza. That's just one of the that's just one of the Yakuza games. And I'm thrilled with that. I love those games. But it is just that. for all of the positives and negatives that it's worth, that is exactly what we're looking at here.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to really say about it. So we'll move on to, unless you have something.
No.
We'll move on to what I thought was really cool, but also it contained several of the most cringe moments of the night. The Street Fighter movie trailer.
The trailer contained the cringe, or them all on stage contained
the trailer?
Cringe?
I don't think was great, but the people on stage was the problem.
I think this trailer has set the perfect expectation for me. I'm like, okay, if you didn't like the Mortal Kombat movie, then I can't imagine you'll like this. It looks on the same vein, but it'll have a slightly different tone.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be less serious and maybe have a lower budget, probably because of how many big name people they're paying to be in it.
Yeah. It's very goofy and over the top and wacky looking, and Guile's hair is exactly Guile's hair, and I'm kind of in love with it. I kind of think like this is exactly what it should be. Let's fucking go. In a way that like I'm expecting this Foley to be most a 3.5 out of 5.
Right. Yeah. I don't think the movie will be good. I don't think it'll be good. I think it'll be a cult hit.
I don't
people
need
who
it
are
to
like
be good.
really
I
in
need
there.
it to be,
but
I need it to be fun. I don't need it to be good.
That's fair. Yeah, I think you probably get that. I think a lot of the people look incredibly stupid in it. I think 50 Cent looks terrible. I think Cody looks really bad, and not just because of the hair. I think somehow he just looks so old, and I don't know what that is.
They took away his neck tattoo, and so you just can't recognize him.
Maybe. I also think, and I thought this when we got the announcement, but now seeing it in full color, Not a big fan of David Dastmalchian as as M. Bison. That's a choice. I'm sure it'll be funny, but I don't get it.
We'll have to see the performance. I'm willing to rock with it, but he's in the full getup.
Yeah, it's
That's
interesting.
you cannot take that away from this movie. They did not shy away
No,
from everybody's just exact outfits, and
right.
I'm happy to see that.
Which is also why Akuma and Blanca look pretty rough. They're not bad, but they don't look like we put good money on it. That's what I'll say. But to be fair, most of these
Akuma
people are going to be in like one scene.
Akuma looks exactly like Roman Reigns, just turning into a werewolf.
Right.
Yeah, we don't see Blanca in the trailer, but we did get the poster
We have the
for him,
poster.
and he looks CG heavy.
He looks pretty. He looks a little rough. It was weird. They brought out the whole cast. Most of them didn't really say anything. And then the guy who's from like the shitty podcast circuit, like tried to start beef with the
the
Mortal Kombat cast for
the
some reason.
the Austin comedy scene guy.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
Kill Tony guy was
don't
like,
don't need him there.
yeah, I don't. And he's playing a character who canonically sucks shit. He's playing Dan Hibiki, but
Right.
like, it's a bad casting choice. And then also, it's like, come on, man. We're on stage. We're supposed to be celebrating video games. You don't need to like talk shit about the other fighting game movie that's coming out. Like, just
No, he's like, am I right, gamers? Like that's the energy he brought. It's like just get off the stage.
yeah, it's
We're on hour 4.
yeah. Oh,
Get
and
off the stage.
and then to put the shit icing on the cake, then they gave an award to No Man's Sky.
Yeah, was that the community support one?
I think it was either community support or ongoing. It was one of those ones, and it was like, bro, come on. You can't come out with a movie that looks that rough and then give a award to a game that is objectively bad. Like, it's
But that was
better.
all the
It's better than it was.
that was all the community support. They fixed it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never played a single minute of No Man's Sky.
I haven't. I wish I didn't. I played
Okay.
it like
Well,
2 years ago, and it's still really bad.
well, okay.
Um, More in our vein though, we got a trailer for Lego Batman: Legacy of the Dark Knight. We've talked about this a little bit before because it has been announced before, but this is, I think, the first time we've seen in like
Yeah.
a extended look at it. So it is an open world Lego Batman game with an original story, but then that original story seems to very heavily ape all of the other movies and content.
It's like other set pieces strung together.
Yeah.
Into one thing.
Which is interesting. I believe that not Telltale, it's TT Games, but I forget what the TT stands for. I believe that they will be able to do that in a way that is more tongue in cheek and fun than stupid.
Sure,
But on
of
paper, that
course.
sounds pretty stupid. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I think it's gonna be fun. I really like those Lego games for the majority of them, at least.
Yeah, this looks cute. I mean, I think we have a short where I'm like, my exact phrasing is like strung, like take these things and string them together into a shitty little story. Which sounds like I'm knocking it. I'm not knocking this. I think this looks cute and cool and fun. I can see myself playing this for sure.
I probably will, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not at launch. It's not going to be a game I like pre-order or anything, but I'll almost certainly play it at some point.
No, I can't play it at lunch. I'll be eating food.
All right. Okay. We then got 2 Tomb Raiders, and we knew that we were going to get one, but then we got 2, which is kind of neat. One is Tomb Raider Catalyst, which is the next, I guess, mainline Tomb Raider, although it looks, a lot cheaper than the other ones, which I don't necessarily mind. But it's interesting.
They went for like a stylistic. We went back to like cartoonier looking Fortnite
Right.
graphics.
Not
it
quite
looks like.
Fortnite, but I agree.
It's much more colorful, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And other than like the hyper realistic, he gets stabbed through the head if you miss the button prompt.
Is it crazy
Tomb
to say,
Raider.
like, I think I prefer those ones, though?
The stab through the head one?
Yeah, I think that I like those ones more than the old ones.
No. I mean, there's no wrong way to enjoy a Lara Croft. She's a cool lady.
That's fair. And they're also remaking what they said was the first one, but I don't know if that's true. Legacy of Atlantis. It's a remake of the first one in the same art style as Catalyst. So that's kind of neat that now those are kind of more closely tied. Looks interesting. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool to see Lara Croft get her due again. It's interesting though because the studio making them, Crystal Dynamics, they got swallowed up by Embracer like a couple years back. And they've had a bunch of layoffs this year. And so it's like, I don't know, man. I'm looking at it and I'm like, and it kind of looks cheap and it kind of looks like, and I'm like, I don't know. It's like I don't know, watching somebody who you know is in an abusive relationship be like, oh, my anniversary is soon. And you're like, oh.
Mm.
But I'm sure the games will be good. I'm sure the people making them are talented. Those studios are talented. I just feel so bad for the way that they are being treated right now.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote this one in here. I don't think it's a big deal, but I wrote down Animo. We've seen this advertised a lot. Specifically, if you watch any PokeTuber, PM7, M&J TV, Purple Cliff, any of them, you have seen probably a advertisement for this because they have been targeting the Pokemon audience for very clear reasons. This is a Pokemon type game, but it's open world and you can turn into your Pokemon, which I guess technically makes it closer to Digimon. Will it get sued like that other one, Pal World? Probably not, but maybe.
I thought we weren't allowed to do this anymore.
We weren't allowed to do this. If you don't catch them in balls, I think you still pass the
we catch them
check.
we catch them in cubes.
In pyramids. Yeah, I don't fucking know, man. But I think it looks really cute. Like, I am all for other studios coming out and being like, hey, if Pokemon doesn't want to make games that are good and look good, we'll do it for you. We need more competition in that space so that Pokemon is forced to actually make games that look like they're from this century. And I'm saying that as a devout Pokemon fan. So, you know.
Yeah, what were you saying a minute ago about abusive relationships?
That's me, baby. Did I do it? We recorded a different podcast with our friend Abrar like last weekend, and when we were done with it, I started doing a quiz where you name every Pokemon, and I did it. I completed it. It took me 2.5 hours, but I can name all 1,000 Pokemon. That's my disease. And I'm still out here telling you those games have been really bad for a long time.
We need to make some sort of content out of you guessing Pokemon.
I'm down. You do that for me. As soon as we get like a studio space, you do something like that for me, and I'll do the one where I quiz you on like modern pop culture stuff.
No, that's not fair. I don't know that.
I didn't say it was fair. I just said it would be good content.
You're gonna ask me who is this pop singer from the year 2025, and it's like
I'll ask you to name one.
I asked my grandma to name every Smash Brothers character, and we're like, that's little Jimmy.
But the joke is that we're the same age.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sorry, you just hit Unk faster than I did. That's not my fault. I'm gonna ask you, name one Troye Sivan song, and you're gonna be like, can't do it.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is.
Oh man. Okay. The next one, I didn't think I was going to be talking about this one when the announcement started because we've talked about it a couple of times. But Jenna Chan came out and showed off that a little bit more of that 007 game, First Light. Turns out
that's right.
Lenny Kravitz is the villain, which I'm down for actually. That's real neat.
This blew my mind.
I was like,
I was gonna make a joke of like, it's gonna be somebody because they were dressed like that. And then it came out of the shadows, and I went, Lenny Kravitz!
Yeah.
And then he came out on stage in the exact same fit.
Because that's just him. That's just how he did. The only thing missing was some of the tattoos that the character had.
He brought that from home.
Yeah.
It blew my mind.
Oh my god. One of the coolest things. I was so down for that.
I'm actually really hyped for that game.
I am too. I wasn't.
Cool.
But I think I am now. Like it might be a day one game for me, depending on what's going on at the time it comes out. But yeah, for sure. Like I'm actually really excited for it.
I like James Bond, and this looks really cool. So
I'm not even a huge James Bond fan. Like I've enjoyed James Bond in the past, but I'm not like watching all the movies or whatever.
Well, the movies are so wild, and some of them are very old and outdated. It is perfect for rewatch.
You know what? And put it on the list. We'll get there.
I'm putting it on the list right now.
You better. And then the last one that I have on here, partially because it was the last one that got announced before I had to leave to go be with my family. So I watched the rest afterwards, and I didn't write down anything else. I didn't think there was anything else that was worth writing down. But the last one I have here was the new Total War game, which we speculated before last week on Recap. And it was one of the two that we thought it was going to be. It is Warhammer 40K, which is really cool. I think I would have been more excited for Star Wars, but this is great. I'm very excited for this. I have questions about how it's going to work.
I've got a question right now, right here.
Yeah.
David Harbour, which arm are you playing? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I am very curious about that.
Who are you painting.
Well, it's exciting. So because I think for sure he said he's voicing a character. I'm gonna throw this out here also.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill's gonna voice a character.
He should. I feel if they didn't at least ask him, it's disrespectful.
He's already got an Easter egg in the previous Total War game.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a high elf character who is like basically Batman, and he has a little like secondary hero guy who's with him, and his name is Cavill or something like that.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, so they're like, it's Batman and Superman because they know he's a big fan of Total War. I mean, or not Total War, Warhammer,
40,
specifically
yeah,
40K.
yeah.
Although I think he might fuck with fantasy like a little bit. So yeah, for 100% he's going to be in this. I'm sure he's taking a tour of the studio today.
He needs to voice a Custody character.
Yeah, which the Custodies doesn't seem like they're gonna start as playable. It looks like the first 4 playable races are gonna be obviously Orcs and Marines, which were in the trailer. But then based on the like key art, it looks like there's also gonna be Eldar, and I have to assume Guard because there was some Guard on there. Although it could just be that's just part of the Marine army. I don't know. So that's pretty cool though.
I'm excited. As this was happening, I did say I took knowledge that I learned from this very show, and I was like, because Christian was like, "Is it going to be 40K?" And I was like, there's rumor has it could be Star Wars, and then it wasn't.
Yeah.
But I was like, all right, this is cool, anyways.
Yeah, it's going to be cool for sure. It leaves me with a lot of questions. There's one little clip where, because for the whole trailer they're dressed as Ultramarines, the Marines. And then there's one little clip where they switch between a bunch of colors, and so clearly there's going to be some kind of like customization. You're going to be able to like do an army painter sort of thing. I do wonder if that means that there won't be separate factions for like Salamanders or Blood Angels or those things. I feel like that's like prime DLC territory. These games have tons of DLC, the modern ones. So
of course,
probably there'll be some kind of DLC where it's like, and we're going to add some of the Salamanders units, and we're going to add some of the, because some of the different ones have their own like unique units. So I do think that that's probably going to be the case.
I think on
cool.
tabletop, on tabletop, Salamanders can be just built from normal Marines, and you just kind of like stack up more fire heavy units. But like ones like Blood Angels or what's another example?
Maybe Raven Guard.
Blood Angels is the one I'm going to go with. Like they do have their own very specific units that they do have their own box sets. So that one I can definitely see. And
I don't feel like they're really popular. Like Blood Angels are going to get something.
If they decide to make DLC out of Salamander's stuff specifically, that's just a middle finger to me. So I mean, I get it.
Well, I don't think it'd be a middle finger. It'd be a middle finger if they didn't get included at all.
That's true.
Yeah,
that'd be 2 middle fingers.
If this follows the trajectory of so I think I told you last week, but the fantasy version of these Total War games, it was 3 different games that all introduced new races. So the first one had it was Empire Dwarfs, Vampire Counts, and something else. God. But it launched with 4 races, and then there was more DLC that added, I think, 3 others. And then they added, in the second game, it was like Lizardmen and High Elves and Dark Elves and Skaven and all that. So I do think, unfortunately, that some of the bigger races probably will not be made into DLC. They'll be like a secondary game. So I wouldn't necessarily expect to see like Necron and Tau. I think that those are 2 of the really, really big ones that are going to probably end up being like a separate game.
That makes sense.
So that is a little bit of a bummer, maybe. But who knows? I think there's also a situation where like that means that some of the DLC races that we get might be some of the smaller ones. Like I could see AdMech being in there, and that would be interesting because we don't get a lot of like AdMech content. So I don't know. I'm very excited to see how this works as far as the whole rollout of it goes. The gameplay of it, I think, also has me questioning, because historically the ones of these that have been very gun heavy have not been the best ones in the series. Like Empire Total War, I think, and Napoleon, or is it Empire or Napoleon? One of those 2 are just like not very good. And so I'm like a little worried about it, but like they've also learned a lot. So I have to assume that that's going to be fixed. But then also these are the first Total War games that are going to launch on consoles, which is crazy. That's never happened before. Granted, the consoles are going to start having PC games on them soon too. So who fucking knows? I don't know. I'm very interested to see how the gameplay is going to work. I'm going to need to see more information about it, but I am very excited. 40K is a really cool thing. We get a ton of 40K games, but most of them are not good. Most of them are pretty bad.
Yeah.
So when we do
The
get
last
one that looks genuinely great, I'm like, hell yeah.
the last 40K game that I bought was free.
Which one was that?
Vermintide 2.
That's a good one.
Is it?
Yeah, I like the Vermintide games. Vermintide and Dark Tide are both pretty good. They're not amazing,
All right.
but they're good.
All right, I have a confession to make.
Ah.
It wasn't actually free.
Oh my god.
It was free and I was told to get it and then I missed it and then it was not free but on sale for like $1.50.
That's as
And
good
so
as free.
I had no, it stings. It was an insult to me and my not jumping on it on time.
Yeah, man. Yeah, you really suck. But so that was the last huge announcement, or like, talk worthy announcement that I saw. And there were a couple of other ones. There was the one that you were laughing about. It was called like what, fucking High Dive or something.
Oh my god, this is the most advanced fucking video game we've ever made, and then it's just a lame ass hero shooter.
It's a dog shit looking hero shooter. It looks so
with
bad.
The most generic looking bullshit, and then like they unveil this big like tank in the game, and I'm like, well, at least there's a tank. And Christian's like, that's the cart.
And he's right. Yeah, he's right. It's yeah.
No.
Oh god.
That's so funny. Stupid. You know what? If that game comes out and it's like the most highly reviewed game, it's the end all be all for hero shooters. Good for them. I'm not gonna play it because I don't play hero shooters. I don't care. But good for them if they actually make a game that doesn't suck. But it doesn't look like they did.
No. No, but it's gonna be free to play, so it'll last a couple days longer than Concord, so that's good at least.
Star Wars racer game?
Star Wars racer, that's true. I forget what that one was called. I didn't write it down. But yeah, it's basically like not a spiritual successor to the pod racer game. So that's kind of neat.
Is it weird that I'm slightly upset that it's not just a pod racer game? Like there's speeder bikes and
no, you're valid being upset about it
because I'm like pod. I mean, I'm sure there'll be Sebulba's in the damn trailer.
Yeah, I'm sure
it'll be a pod racer.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be a perfectly fine game. I think it'll be good, probably fun.
And then Mega Man.
Right, Mega Man. I didn't even write down Mega Man. Yeah, because I don't know what that is really. The vibe of it was like it's a remake, but it's not. It's like a new one.
I think it's essentially Mega Man 11, but they don't do numbers anymore because
11's a big number.
Yeah, it's true.
I guess
it's like WrestleMania. We don't want to show how old we are.
Makes sense.
We don't want people to know that Mega Man's an unk.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, real fast, what did you sort of think of this? The whole show, like in like 30 seconds. What do you think?
I'm glad that I had football on another screen.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's always with the Game Awards, it's like the awards are not the main event. Like we've already talked about how that's the problem. Mm-hmm. And then good for Claire Obscure. I will play you. My favorite thing that was talked about was Resident Evil, but like what does that mean? Because it comes out in like 2 months, so it's not like it needed to be talked about anyways. Mega Man, cool. Lara Croft, cool. Star Wars, Old Republic, cool. 40. I will buy that 40K game.
Yeah, same.
And that's it. Other than that, I think it was too damn long. I can't say it was a waste of time because things were said that was like, okay, neat. Oh, cool. Hey, I'm glad that game won. Once again, shout out Hades 2.
Yeah.
But it's just why does it have to be this long?
I agree. I think if you're watching it on a second screen, it's probably not too bad. I think if you are sitting down, if you're watching it on a second screen or you're in the audience, I think you're having an okay time. If it is the sole focus of what you're doing, I think it's pretty awful. I think this year in particular felt very lacking of like big announcements, because even the ones that are being billed as big announcements are like, we don't know anything. Like the Star Wars Fate of the Old Republic is like, we don't know anything about this. We don't know anything about the team making it other than Casey Hudson is attached. We have very little to go on with a lot of these. It is the barest minimum scrap of thing to be excited for. So it's, I don't know. It's not great. And then obviously all the gripes that I had at the beginning, it's just every year it upsets me and it makes me mad.
I thought of one more thing.
Yeah.
That kind of sums up exactly how seriously you should take the Game Awards. We'll give another big shout out to Grand Theft Auto 6 for once again winning the most anticipated game.
Twice in a
for
row.
Like twice
in a row,
or three times in a row. That's good for you guys. You really pulled the wool over their eyes. Don't do it again. Don't let them know that you didn't actually make a game. Just keep pushing it.
Dear God. Well, if you want to tell us all the big announcements that we didn't talk about from the Game Awards, you can leave a comment on Spotify and YouTube. Those are the two places we are. Follow us in both of those places, but especially on YouTube. If you're listening to this on Spotify right now, we would really love it if you would come over to YouTube, which sounds crazy because we actually have more subscribers on YouTube than Spotify, but we're also so close to 100 subscribers that I want so badly to hit 3 digits by the end of the year, and
100.
And it would be great if you guys could help us do that. And the other thing is that's not going to help that situation is we're also going on a little bit of a holiday hiatus. I should let you know.
Oh crap!
This is going to be the last episode of the year. We're going to take a little bit of break and we'll come back bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at the beginning of 2026 with a whole bunch of new content for you and hopefully some surprises along the way. But you can follow the show on Twitter at @RSR_POD. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Daniel J. McG.
You can follow me on Blue Sky at Skyler8bit.
And until next time, everybody, we'll see you around.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
The game's just starting, the world's so bright. Jump right in, everything feels right. Let's play, take a trip back